Fate and the Thread of Time. After asking what the world is made of, philosophy had to face its next question. Do we shape our lives, or are they shaped for us? The invisible hand, the ancient answer to every unanswerable question. Why does the sun rise? Why does the crop fail? Why does a child die while a tyrant lives? Because the fates have woven it so. To the earliest human minds, the world was not governed by chance or logic, but by a pattern, predetermined and unchangeable. This belief wasn't superstition, it was survival. In Greek myth, the Moirai, the Fates, were three goddesses who spun, measured, and cut the thread of each life. Clotho spun the thread, Lachesis measured its length, and Atropos, with her shears, was decided when it ended. Even Zeus, king of the gods, could not defy them. The message was clear. You can run, you can hide, but you cannot escape what was written. And yet, within this terrifying certainty was also a kind of comfort. If everything was fated, then nothing was accidental. No suffering was without reason. No life without design. The Norse had the Norns, the Egyptians Shai and Renanudit. Every great culture wove fate into its story. Because to imagine a world ruled by chaos was worse than one ruled by cruel order. But the question lingered, if all is fated, what becomes of choice? The thought that divides us. The Greeks did not agree on the matter. Some schools, like the Stoics, embraced fate fully. They believed the universe was governed by logos, a rational principle, and that true freedom was accepting one's place within that order. Others, like the Epicureans, argued for chance. They believed atoms could swerve randomly, introducing uncertainty and thus freedom. In this swerve, they found room for choice. And then came the dramatists. In the tragedies of Sophocles and Euripides, fate was the invisible wall that no hero could escape. Oedipus flees the prophecy that he'll kill his father and marry his mother, only to fulfill it by trying to avoid it. His story wasn't about evil, it was about inevitability, that even a good man with noble intentions could be trapped by a fate written long before he was born. These stories weren't just entertainment, they were warnings that knowledge alone does not bring freedom, that even the act of resisting our fate may be what ensures it. But others asked, what if fate is simply what we don't yet understand? As philosophy matured, so did the idea of fate. No longer just threads spun by goddesses, it became a question of causality. If every effect has a cause, and every cause was caused by something before it, then isn't the future already determined? And if that's true, is the will free or merely another effect in a long chain? It is the same thought that would haunt science centuries later. In a fully mechanistic universe governed by laws and particles, what room is left for choice? Are we not just atoms in motion? This tension between fate and freedom became the pulse of philosophical inquiry. And the greatest thinkers knew it could not be answered with certainty, only explored, wrestled with, questioned. Because what we call fate may just be another name for the limits of our vision, and what we call freedom may be a flame flickering within those limits. The next step. To understand fate, one had to understand the self, and to understand the self, one had to ask, what is truth? What is justice? What is a good life? And so, our journey leads us to the man who asked those very questions, not in temples or scrolls, but in the streets. The man with nothing but questions. Socrates,